Good morning. Welcome back to Playground. Super excited to be continuing this Parenting from a Place of Wellness series. And today we are focused on parenting style, which is a personal passion of mine. I absolutely love observing, researching different parenting styles, and I have just been fascinated to see different parenting styles in action over the years in friends, in colleagues, in the parents that I serve, parenting children of different numbers from different backgrounds. Some have moved from different countries, speak many different languages, have different cultural influences. Parenting at different ages. It's just all sorts of variety, all different sorts of parenting styles. So it's a topic that I'm really excited about. And one of the things that I believe very strongly in is that there isn't one way to raise a great human being. I think that there are principles that we have kind of discovered and continue to discover about what it takes to be the kind of person that we want to be in society, and that those need to be intentionally taught to children. But as far as one approach or one style being the way you need to parent, I I I laugh at that. Or when I'm not reacting in a hostile manner. I think that there are a lot of messages out there about what parents should be doing and how they should be doing it, and I always bristle at some of that language, because especially the more specific it gets, you need to say this or not say this, or do this or not do this. Like, perhaps in that family that is highly effective for raising the child that they want to raise. Also, it's up to you as a parent to determine what type of human being you want to raise, and what values and what characteristics you think are important. And one of the exciting things about a world full of people is that we're not all the same. So if we're raising our kids to have, be these robots where everybody is focusing on the same characteristics and imbuing the same traits, then things get much less interesting. So I think that this is a really important conversation for you to have with whoever is helping you raise your kids, or just your own internal monologue to really reflect on what is your parenting style. What is important to you as a parent? When you think about your babe becoming an adult, what do you want him or her to look like? What do you want them to act like? And what do you want them to care about? And what do you want them to spend time on? What are your hopes and dreams for them? And in your own experience, what does it take to get them there? Because that's what parenting is, right? It's setting that goal. This is where I want them to be, and then making a plan. This is how I get them there. And then enacting that plan every day to the best of your ability in the chaos that is life. So let's spend some time talking about some different parenting styles and what you resonate with most. So when you talk about parenting styles, there are many ways to talk about it. I always kind of stay within the most, what I think are the most well-researched camps that anytime I've looked at psychological literature on parenting, it's typically talking about, the square of how strict you are versus how relaxed you are in your rule setting, and then how affectionate and warm you are versus cold. And that's kind of, the square. And then you have labels based on where you fit in the squares. But as we know, there are many variations that get into more specific things. Are you a snowplow parent? Are you a free range parent? Are you the helicopter, the free range attachment parenting? So some of you already have your label, or you've dabbled in a variety of the labels, but as we talk about this today, I want to go through a series of questions to help you kind of think about yourself holistically as a parent. And so if you like, this might be a great time to grab a piece of paper and a pencil and maybe write down your responses so that you can think about it later. So the first thing I want to talk about is your level of affection. And this is related to personality. And it's so hard to choose words that don't sound judgmental, but please know that I'm using the words that I have readily available, either because I've seen them or it's the first thing that comes to mind. But I don't think, like I said, any one style is better than any other, as long as there are certain principles being followed that are in line with your goals for your children. So around affection, how would you describe your level of warmth or closeness with your children? Are you comfortable with a lot of physical touch? What kind of physical touch? Is that a lot of hugs? Are there kisses in your family? Is it maybe just one, like, on greetings and drop off moments, wake up and go to sleep moments, many random moments throughout the day? What does that look like for your family? During what times of the day is there physical affection shown in the form of hugs or kisses? And then as an extension to that, are there not so affectionate forms of physical touch in your family? Are things like hitting or I don't know, I've seen like some parents will pinch lightly the back of their baby's neck when they do something wrong, just to show them, oh, that's not right. So is that form of touch, which is not affectionate but meant to be disciplinary, is that a part of your household? So what are your beliefs and feelings around physical touch, and what are your practices around that affectionate or disciplinary touch? How strong are those feelings? Some people are very opposed to any form of what has been called corporal punishment, and others have a more approach. Some people are very opposed to some forms, but not others. Maybe like this, if a kid is going for a fire, is appropriate, like no, slapping a hand, but a swat on the backside for not listening to mom is not appropriate. What are your beliefs around that? So after thinking about physical touch, both the affectionate form of physical touch and disciplinary, let's continue talking about affection. I just kind of got off with the disciplinary, but talking about affection, let's talk about language. What sort of language do you use to show affection to your children? And how consistent is it? Do you believe in lots of ooey gooey language? Is your affection more in the form of praise for things they do well? Do you speak more with identity language, like you are good, or that was good? Or is it about a task? What sort of language do you prefer? What feels most meaningful to you? What do you like and why? And how often do you use language that makes your child feel warm or good? And these are very different, right? So I love you is very much about warmth and affection. I like how you helped your brother with getting his lunch ready, is a great form of praise that feels good, and we're including that, but that's very different from I love you. So as you think about the language you use with your child, How much do you use? What type do you use? Is it something that you think about? Is it important to you? So when I think about affection, those are primarily the ways that I think about it. In the next video, we will continue our conversation about parenting styles with sets of questions around kind of that next big topic that I see when I'm looking at research, which is your expectations of your children and how strict or not strict you are. I'll see you there.